Welcome to Binford Chronicles, where you get access to the candidates. We're going to be discussing a few bills that have already been decided. I want you to think about how you would vote on these bills. First, I want to let you know these bills were voted on by Bill Posey, who ran on term limits. Currently in his 8th term at age 77 and running for a 9th term. Posey voted to approve HRES 397, June 27th, 2017. This legislation reaffirms the commitment of the USA to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization's principle of collective defense as enumerated in Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. Member nations of NATO military alliance agree that an armed attack against one or more of them shall be considered an attack against them all. Folks, this alliance undermines the provision in the U.S. Constitution that assigns to Congress the power to declare war. That's right. Remember what this says. This treaty says, an armed attack against one or more of them shall be considered an attack against them all. NATO is going to decide war before Congress. Posey also voted to approve HRES 1130, September 22nd, 2022. NATO is based on the principle of collective security based on the North Atlantic Treaty that established NATO in 1949, during a time when the USSR was a threat. Folks, the USSR no longer exists. It's not a threat. And the expansion of this entangling military alliance, which was made between 12 member nations at the time, increases the likelihood of the United States being drawn into a military conflict. Remember, it started out with 12 member nations. Now it's up to 32. Something tells me it's more have been added, so it might even be up to 34 now. But the last time I looked, it was 32. So I'm going to stick with 32. And then Posey voted to approve H.R. 7961, May 10th of 2022. This is Ukraine aid. So in 2022, $40.1 billion supplemental appropriations for activities to respond to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I can't stress it enough, folks. Foreign aid, military or otherwise, is unconstitutional. The Constitution does not say that you're supposed to be helping all these nations with their funds. Yeah, it's a nice thing to do, but no, we have to take care of the United States first. And this aid, it further interjects the United States in the Russia-Ukraine war. Just take a look at how long this war has been going on, and we've been feeding it. It would have ended a lot sooner if we didn't feed it. It increases the likelihood of the war broadening to fully include as combatants the United States as well as the rest of NATO. And we see a lot of unpositive things happening here. And Russia had its issues. Yes, I'm not going to get into all of Russia's issues and the relationships in other countries, but Russia, this was the catalyst for Russia responding to the threat of Ukraine becoming a NATO member and military bases being set up along the Russian border. We promised Russia that we weren't going to do that. And in this new administration, they're promising they're going to do that. So, there's a lot to be said there. And then, of course, Posey voted, out of all the ones that he did vote to approve that we've just discussed, he voted to reject H.R. 2670, July 13th of 2023, which is not too far, away. It's pretty recent, 2023. Well, this amendment was introduced by Matt Gaetz, our Florida guy, our Florida representative. He's been fighting for America. He's on the caucus. Not the caucus, but sorry, I call that a Biden moment, when you just have a moment where you just can't think of the word. Well, Matt Gaetz, he wrote this amendment to prohibit the use of federal funds to provide security assistance to Ukraine. I agree with that. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's why I'm doing this. I want you to take a look and tell me, comment below. Which bill would you agree with and which bill would you not agree with, and how do you feel about this? I'm reaching out to you guys because I don't think a lot of people are aware of this. Bill Posey voted against Matt Gaetz's amendment to stop funding Ukraine. He didn't stand side by side with his Florida Republican representative at all. Using American taxpayer dollars to provide financial and military support to Ukraine, it's just unconstitutional. Guys, we need our borders closed. We need to start funding Americans. We've got military veterans that have been kicked out of their housing to put in these illegal immigrants crossing the border and giving them cards with our taxpayer dollars, spending money. It's upside down. It really is. We're living in upside down America right now. And we need good, strong representatives that are going to fight hard for us and support good bills that defend us, that keep our money here, that keep our people safe, that are directed to benefit the United States citizens, this great republic that we live in. I want to remind you, Bill Posey ran on term limits. I want to remind you, he's currently in his 8th term. He's 77 years old, and he's looking to run for a 9th term. I also want to remind you, when there's an incumbent that's running, they don't always put in their name in the hat right away. So the other candidates that know they're running for this spot, and as they always, out of courtesy, a candidate will go and speak to the current representative filling that seat, and I'm pretty sure all these candidates, if they had any decency, asked Posey if he was going to run, and if he wasn't going to run, for his endorsement. I think Posey had a very good opportunity to find out, to interview, to vet the candidates that were throwing their hat in the ring. He's been in office for 8 terms. He had the ability to vet. He had the confidence of Florida citizens, his constituents, to the point that if he had vetted the candidates running and chose a candidate and chose to endorse a candidate, that would make huge change. And it would show that he's looking out for the people. At 77 years old, it's really not that old, but it's not that young. He'll be 81 years old at the end of the 9th term. And anything can happen in that term. His health can either stay good or go bad. But the point I'm trying to make is he has an opportunity to pass the torch. And he once carried a torch that had a strong flame on it. But right now his torch has embers. And we need somebody to pull that torch, to carry that torch. And I have vetted the candidates, and it's besides the point now, because we only have 2 viable candidates that have qualified as of today, which is April 24th. And those candidates are Bill Posey and John Hearton. I ask you to vote John Hearton for Congressional District 8. Visit HeartonForCongress.com. Hearton's about God, country, and Florida. He has a lot of really, really needed experience to be a representative. He's owned a business. He's about businesses, family-owned businesses. He has a lot of background that we could use as a representative. He's a Florida resident. He has he's technology focused. Take a look at John Hearton's website at HeartonForCongress.com. Hearton's going to make sure we have a balanced budget. He's going to make sure taxes are fair. He's also a supporter of term limits. He believes in small businesses. He wants to protect our borders. He doesn't want people crossing our borders and endangering our kids. He doesn't like the fentanyl that's coming over the borders, the crime, all the gang cells that are in the United States at this point in time. He wants you to live in a safe America. He wants his grandchildren to live in a safe America, a prosperous America, an America that has opportunity, an America where you can say you can be a dreamer. He has all of those convictions, and he's going to bring them to the table, and he's going to fight for the people, for we the people. Please visit HeartonForCongress.com. Thank you again for visiting Binford Chronicles. And please, please, please like, comment. I want to know what you think. Share, and subscribe. And as a last word, I'm going to advise everybody to vote early. We need to get out to early voting, because if we all wait on voting day, those voting machines, remember, we're not on paper ballots, those voting machines could be compromised. I don't know if they will be, but this is an election we do not have the opportunity to screw up. If you can, get to those polls early and vote. If you wait till the last day and something goes wrong, it's not going to benefit us. And make sure you vote for the change you wish to see. Vote for John Hearton for Congress, August 20th. And vote for Trump. Thank you for visiting Binford Chronicles.